Okay, guys, we will wait for till 12:05. Till then, everybody joins. Uh, Up till then, would love to have a short introduction about yourself. If you can write in the chat your name, college name, city which you are in right now, and year of graduation. You can follow a format of name, college, city, year of grad. You can follow this format in the chat. Please let us know about you so that we have a just we get to know about you, like who we can see, like from where people are joining. We will wait till everybody joins. Up till then, hi Viren, hi Kadambari. Kadambari, Kadambari, it's I think you have been in the past workshops as well, right? I have been like seeing you for last workshops. Okay. Hi Abhirami. Okay, great. Thanks, Kadambari. All workshops are awesome. Okay. Uh, okay. Okay. Got it. Hi, Saksham from the IT Mesra, Mumbai. Hi, Om. Hi, Aditya. Hi, Manish. Hi, hi Rukesh. Nirud. Harshit. Hi, from PSIT. Other people who are joining, can you please write a short information about yourself in the chat? Everybody would love to know about each other. Okay. Uttiyo from Shikshanusandhan. Hi. Yeah, yeah. Shruti from SK Skit Jaipur. Hi. Sai Kiran from Chennai. Hi. Santosh. Hi. Okay. Hi Atharv. Hi Sonali from Pune. Hi Varun, Mumbai, Hyderabad. Kirti. Hi. Enila. Aditya from Bombay. Hi. Everybody who are joining, please write your short information about yourself. Hi Fazal. Hi Rahul Kamble from Mumbai. See a lot of people from Mumbai coming in today. Ajay from Kanyakumari. Hi. VIT Hyderabad. Shanmukha. Okay. We have a VIT in Hyderabad as well. Is it a new campus or an old campus? Shravani from Andhra Pradesh. Hi. Shank is from Hyderabad. Okay, got it. Kimi from Surat. Hi. Everybody who are joining, can you please write a short introduction about yourself? Would love to know about you. Darshan from Karnataka. Hi. People who are joining, just write a short introduction about yourself. Name, city, college which you are in, year of grad. Would help us understand about you. Hi, Malini from Andhra Pradesh. Darshan from Karnataka. Omkar. Prathamesh from Pune. Ativyam. Purva from Nagpur. Hi. Hi, Saurav from Delhi. From Triple IT. Pranavi. Okay. Okay. Mubasir Sak from Andhra Pradesh. Hi. Okay. Do we have someone outside of India today? Anybody from UAE? Kavya from Delhi. Hi. Currently. We have Bhavna from Dubai. Currently QA test engineer. Okay. Engineer from Vijayawada. Hi. Anybody from Africa as well today? No? Okay. Gorika from Amritsar, Punjab. Hi. We will wait for 12:05. There will be more people joining in today. Let me check. Arnav, are you here? Arnav? Okay, I think he will be joining soon. Uh, okay. Divyansh?
Yeah. Hi, Atul.
Okay, we have Divyansh. So Divyansh, we will wait for 5 more minutes. So let other people join. We will start the session afterwards. Jatin from Haryana, from Pondicherry University, Doman. Hi, Jatin. Hi, Alzima from Hyderabad. Hi. Wait for 4 minutes more. Starting soon. Just waiting for other people to join. Yeah, every recording and everything will be provided. Don't worry. Dinesh from Rajasthan. Hi. Dayakar from Andhra Pradesh. Hi. Anikanta from Andhra Pradesh. Hi. Shantanu from NSIT Delhi. Great. No need for fireflies, note taker. We are already recording the session. Gautam, you're from Jharkhand. Hi. Shantanu Roy. Okay, we'll start at 12:05 sharp. People who have joined now, can you please write a short introduction about yourself? Where you are from and which college you are from, your year of grad. Tushar from Noida, Atul from Bangalore. Hi. Hi. Hi, Chetan from Hyderabad. There is no prerequisite to attend this lecture. Ayush here from New Delhi. Hi, from Tirupati. We have people from everywhere, I think. Okay. Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Pune, Kurnool, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Uttarakhand, Hyderabad, Tamil Nadu, Patna, Bihar. Okay. Hi. Aniket from Mumbai. Hi. Tesh. Saurabh from Kolkata. Just letting in people. I think there will be few more people joining in. Just wait for 2 minutes and we will start the session. Hi, Anushka from Mumbai. What about mm, any of you who have not written your information in the chat? Please write your information in the chat. Would love to know about you, from where you are, which city you are. Harshita from Uttarakhand. Which college you are from? Swati from Bangalore. Delhi NCR, Ghaziabad, Anushka. Deepikala from Tamil Nadu. Hi. Fazal from Bihar, Noida. Tanish from Tamil Nadu. Great. Andhra Pradesh. Ans Agarwal. Ans, hi from Greater Noida. Nitish from Telangana. Those who have joined recently, can you please write a short information about you in the chat? Priyadarshini from Andhra Pradesh. Pawan from Andhra Pradesh. Hi, good morning. Tamil Nadu. Sridhar from Tamil Nadu. Meera from Tamil Nadu. Hi, Prashant. Hi, Shirsa. Ahmedabad, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Great, great. Uh, Great guys. We let us start. Rest of the people will be joining in. Divyansh, can you just share the screen?
Sure.
Okay, thanks. So starting two slides will be taken by me, then I will hand over to Divyansh. A bit about me. I am founder of Cuvette, and um, we have been doing it since 2021. It has been 4 years, 5 years, 4 years, you can see. We are the one and only platform in India who help fresher students from colleges to get software jobs. Our only focus is to get software, help students get software jobs. We are being used by more than 2.5 million users right now in India. have partners in more than 6,000 partner companies, all kinds of companies, bigger, smaller companies. Um, we are everybody. We are everywhere on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Telegram, wherever you want to see us. You can join any of our social media. We are pretty active everywhere. You can check the student experiences there who are getting placed by us. Every month we place like a lot of students in the companies. This is about us. Can you go to the next slide, Divyansh? Okay, so we have our own placement guarantee programs as well, which is there on the dashboard. If anybody of you are looking for such kind of programs where you're looking to upskill yourself and then get placed by our partner companies, like direct referrals to companies, you can check out our courses. It's there on the dashboard. If you're looking for reviews or feedbacks, you can go and check on the YouTube channel or Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. We are everywhere. Great, Divyansh. So we have Divyansh here, who is already a senior uh, generative AI strategist at Google, and he has a great experience. And he has been sitting at a place who are actually bringing AI into the world. So he will be able to better help you guys to understand what generative AI is and how things are going on. The mode of the session is, if you have any questions, we will just hold on for now. Everything will be taken in Q&A afterwards at the end of the session. So during the session, there will be no questions. I would request you to, whatever questions which are coming to you, just write it down on pen, paper, mobile, anywhere you want. And then at the end, we will have a Q&A session. You can ask Divyansh all the sessions, all the questions, whatever you have. We will take that at the end of the session. Regarding the certificate and the session recording, on Monday evening, by Monday night, you will get everything, the certificate and the session recording. And it is very highly requested for you, everyone who is attending the session, to share their certificate on LinkedIn and tag Cuvette, because many of the recruiters actually are connected with us on the LinkedIn page. So if you tag Cuvette, your profile will get like visibility. So it's very, very important. Whatever workshop or certificate you are doing, just share it on LinkedIn and tag us, and we will re-comment it, we will reshare it. It will give you like a lot of traction on the LinkedIn. Many of the hiring partner will see you. It may help you land a job or internship. Great. Over to you, Divyansh.
Sure. Thank you so much, Atul. And hi, everyone. I hope we have people join from all over the India, and I hope everyone is safe and following all sort of protocols with what's going around the country right now. Quick intro about me also. Like I had my BTech from civil engineering from IIT Palakkad, Kerala. Then from 2019, I'm working in GenAI domain, data science and AI/ML domain. It's been almost 6 years. And then I started my journey as a software developer, then switched to a full-time data scientist, then switched to a GenAI strategist. So this short intro is not to brag about the tags and stuff, but more about how varied the experiences have been. Like being a civil engineering background, converting to a software development field, then learning more about that, hey, data science and AI is booming these days. Shall I switch to that field? Then became a full-time data scientist. And then, what's going on in today's world is Gen AI, right? So I was at right place at right time and then ended up in a Gen AI strategist role. It's a very quick brief about myself. And in this session, we'll try to cover various aspects of Gen AI, LLMs, Hugging Face, and no preliminary knowledge is required for this. So we'll try to explain things from very basic, and we'll try to cover as much as. All right. So as you can see, there is this image. There is this lot of creativity flowing in the image, right? So quick check about, like, most of you must be knowing this, right? Like these days, Chat GPT or LLMs are helping us to create not just text generated data, but also various modalities of data, be it image, be it video, be it audio, and so on. And The unique thing to notice is that see how much creativity was involved in the whole thing, right? There are lots of people involved. There is this theme going on in the background. There is this some sort of war situation is also happening there, or some sort of trumpets are people are playing, right? So imagine like how much of in-depth knowledge or creativity was fed into these LLMs to actually end up creating such photos, right? And yeah, like could a human could have created such unique style, creative, crafted piece, and we know the power of AI these days and what sort of change they are bringing into the society, right? So there is this, like from the students, I get a lot of questions about, there's a lot of confusion in the market about, hey, there is so many things going on. There is this data science field, then there is this machine learning thing going on, then the deep learning part comes in, uh, then comes the generative AI also. So what sort of like intersection is happening? Like if we try to create a Venn diagram sort of a thing, where things fall in exactly, right? So imagine the largest bucket is of AI, under which the machine learning part comes in, right? Which is based out of statistics. Statistics is purely like, let's say, mathematics. When mathematical models are combined to perform certain tasks like prediction or classification, then it becomes uh, a sort of machine learning models trained on various algorithms, right? So all sort of things comes under it, like white box modeling, black box modeling, and so on. Then comes the neural network part, right? The deep learning models comes in role, where different modalities also comes in place. Then comes this part of Gen AI, right? Like it's like there used to be this traditional AI where machine learning models were in place and deep learning architectures were coming in. These generative AI, which includes all sort of logos you can guess, Chat GPT, Mistral, Delhi, and so on, Copilot, right? All these tools which are coming in either for like direct LLMs or agent-based tool out made out of these LLMs are creating impact, and all of them fall under this genre of Gen AI, right? You guys must be using Chat GPT for text generations. Now they start supporting image generation as well. Midjourney was getting used, Daily was getting used for images, and then GitHub Copilot, which is a very good tool related to the code building side of things, right? So if you notice the transition which is happening in the industry right now is there used to be all this prediction classification sort of problems in the past, right? And then now we are moving to more of a generative field where we are creating things. We are creating textual data, image data, video and speech data, and so on, right? So that's exactly I was telling. Like the traditional AI was existing before, and then Gen AI is creating this new era of AI where it's not just about spam filtering or fraud detection sort of a problem, predicting stock market trends, right? And then we used to get this supervised, like tabular sort of data that, hey, these are the number of features, this is the target column. Can you do some sort of insight generation for us, right? Lot of in service based industry, there is still a lot of insight based generation work is happening, that the companies have a lot of data and they don't know what to do with it. So people used to get their data, extract some insight, and do all sort of descriptive, prescriptive analysis out of them, and then used to deliver it. All these things were now getting done with the help of basic Python or Excel or typical machine learning based out of tools. Now we are switching to a more nuanced form of data where things are not properly labeled, where The size of data is huge, right? We are talking about long context format of data where a PDF is there, which contains like 1,000 pages or so, right? So nobody can manually do this, or can write a rule-based code out of it, which can label the data or which can help in doing what we used to do before when machine learning was there. Now is the era of Gen AI where things are very, people are trying to create generalized agents, right? In which we'll just fed in the data. We'll just let the LLM do all the job, and we'll just ask a simple question or whatever information we want to extract out of it, right? That, hey, there is this 1,000 page PDF. It contains information about various Bollywood actors, let's say, right? And I'll just put in the PDF and then ask, hey, what's the address of Amitabh Bachchan, right? So it will read the whole. There is this architecture involved in RAG-based systems, and then it will try to extract whatever you have asked, and then extract that particular information from a large PDF or a large website or so. So things are becoming easy in that domain, and that's where we are heading as a AI field. That how much we can help the humans, how much redundant jobs we can remove, and how much better use of human brain is, not just doing manual redundant tasks, but to focus more on problem solving and you know being more creative head than just a simple machine. Moving on to the part where we'll discuss about how GenAI working, right? So as you all know, like there is this huge amount of massive data sets which exist in market. Every company have their own way to create their LLMs, but the overall understanding is first part, the collection of data sets, be it open sources data, be it Twitter data, Wikipedia data, Reddit data, right? There is this huge amount of human interactions happening on these platforms. There is this huge amount of English, not just English, the various international locales which exist, all sort of languages data exist, right? And then they fed into this deep learning models, the architecture of transformers, the understanding of self-attention mechanisms. And then the machines try to understand these data and then create, the end output is to create something similar data, right? So a lot of pre-training data was fed in with belonging to various content types like text, images, video, speech, etc. The deep learning part considers the understanding of pattern recognition, how to map the relationship between various things, how to how to utilize those relationships to create something similar for text generation, for image generation, and so on, right? So this is the overall typical architecture that, okay, a lot of data set was fed in, it was sent to the model without much of, labeling also. It was more of a self-supervised learning, which models did. And then the output became like they are able to generate something, able to generate some sort of a content out of it, right? We'll do a little more deep dive into it about how LLMs work. So the first part is about tokenization. The huge chunks of data was divided into single tokens. Just like you can say there is this line, data visualization empowers users to, right? There is a sentence data. Now it was divided into various singular words, which is called as tokens. And then comes the part of token embedding. So for a machine, text don't mean anything, right? There is no understanding of text. The machine only understands numbers. So all these textual basis was converted to numerical basis. That there is this particular number getting attached to each and every word. which also the whole process of vectorization, right? And then these are basically the token embedding basically denotes converting from textual words to a number denoted to them, and then putting them into a vector space where similar keywords are close enough, right? For example, let's say there is this data, and then synonyms of data would be more closer to the 3145 wala embedding when it comes to imagining them in a vector space. So embeddings happen, then everything gets transitioned into the vector space. Then comes the part of positional encoding. Because as you can see, the data, the sequence of the whole line, data was the first word, visualization was the second, was broken down into two, and then users, and then two. So the encoding also happens so that model can understand what's the sequence of the words, right? Data came before, visualization came second, empowers came next, users too came, and so on. And by combining these token embeddings, positional encodings, the final embedding vectors get created, and then it gets visualized to a vector space. So this is the process of breaking down the whole data part, right? Now comes the larger picture of now what. So there are a few things here. Transformer blocks, which are sequence of layers combining self-attention and feed-forward units to process the embeddings. A lot of words. I'll explain each and every of them in detail. Next part comes is self-attention, where each token attends to other tokens to gather the context. And then this allows the model to capture relationship between the words. Again, many transformer layers are applied. Stacked self-attention layers happen so that at each and every step, whatever relational mapping which is required to extract from that embeddings data can be extracted. The last part is more about output part, like predicting the next word out of the sentence. And so there is this huge probability distribution. For example, let's say in the previous set slide we discussed, data visualization empowers users to the very next word which is coming out of the sentence is something which needs to be predicted, right? That's where the prediction parts comes in. Key, what can be the next word? There is a lot of different words which can come in. Each of them gets assigned to a probability, and then based on the configuration settings, that whether the highest probability word needs to be chosen, or something which is like second highest or third highest, depending on the various temperature settings, etc., which we'll go a little more detail about each of them in further slides. But before that, a little bit more about Hugging Face models. Right. So till now, there was this GitHub was getting used since long back. People used to show in their resumes, their profiles, the GitHub link, where all sort of machine learning projects, deep learning projects are fed in, and then all sort of classes or code files exist there, and people used to do a README sort of a explanation there that, okay, this is what the project contains, and etc. etc. Now we are shifting to a era where Hugging Face profiles are getting mentioned. Like it's like a GitHub for ML and NLP based out of tools. So you will find all sort of various machine learning, deep learning, LLM models present there. This particular AI community is kind of helped people to make things very accessible. Nobody right now has the power to train their own LLMs because of GPU constraints and so on. So to make things accessible to general public, to general students, tools and platforms like Hugging Face matters a lot. And you should, I'm hoping most of you have used them already, or if you have not, please do go and have a look at them. There is like probably will show you if time permits, like what all different features exist there, and then all sort of text to speech, text to image, and so on, right? And it's not just for models; it's also for the data sets. Whatever task you have, classification, prediction, evaluation sort of things, right? Like how to evaluate your LLM models, etc. The data sets exist there. There are spaces to deploy things as well, where you can train and then deploy and then host your own tools and agents. Right. Next comes is the lot of a very good documentation exists. I mean, I remember being a millennial when I was starting data science and like long back in 2019, there were not good documentations when it comes to learning anything, right? There was no chat GPT, there was no Gemini at that time. And then we were just Googling things and then finding blog posts to read about things. Now the information accessibility part has resolved. What what it really takes is a good amount of interest and then caliber to absorb things, uh, removing this habit of small attention span to actually reading things and learning more about it. So Hugging Face would be, please consider this as one of the very good tool to go and look about various models, how to, you know, being college students, you must be wondering about, hey, what sort of Gen AI projects we can include in our profiles, and uh, how to, uh, because this is a very common question which gets asked, that the bigger things are paid in nature. The GPT Plus subscription, the Gemini Pro subscription, the large language, the huge context models are kind of paid, right? And then there is this catch-22 situations which students face with, that we don't have scalable sort of projects to show in our profile. That's why the companies don't consider the resumes. And at the same time, uh, we can't access all these, large language models freely. So the solution comes somewhere between that. Platforms like this, where there is this Kaggle, where all sort of data set also exist. Platforms like Hugging Face allows students to find something in between. That okay, there are some free resources. You need not to utilize GPT-4 model, which is like paid in subscription or things like that. For very basic sort of projects, example, text summarization or creating basic chatbot out of it, creating some sort of RAG pipelines, and then RAG-based projects. All you need is some downloaded free model from these platforms, include some sort of fine tuning on your own over it. For example, the GPT-2 is free, if I'm not wrong, and then Google also offers a lot of models which are free in nature. T5 exists. There is this Robot AI by Facebook exists, and then there is this huge list which are free in nature, which people with a laptop of basic 16 to 32 GB RAM can download in their local machines. And also not just download, there is also this API endpoint service which happens, right? Uh, Most of the APIs are generally paid, but there are models in which you can just copy paste the code which is there in the platform, and then you can directly access them and build your own creative tools out of it. So that's about the various platforms. I'll switch to the more about transformers. There is this PyTorch and TensorFlow by Google, and which allows downloading transformer-based architectures directly as a library, and then doing all sort of fine tuning and things over it. So as you can see, there is this very small, simple command Python and with small transformers, and then you can directly use them without much of a hassle. Uh, so till now, we talked about how many various tools exist, how many various models which are there here. We'll try to go a little like a demo sort of a thing in the end if I can open Hugging Face and show you things there. Also, how at a student level people can create, build various projects out of it, and even the code need to be like the code also need not to be written everything on your own, right? There is this very good API codes available there, and then you have to just use either the Hugging Face platform itself. One can use the basic code building tools like Cursor AI, GPT, Gemini, and so on, right? Where they'll directly give you the structure of the code. You have to just copy paste the API endpoint out of it, and uh, and bingo, like you can start using your own LLM out of it. You can start building your own tools, uh, and go wild in your imagination that hey, I want to create a chatbot and so and so field, be it a food, a food-based restaurant where you are creating a chatbot for customer service, be it some telecommunication company, be it some supply or operations team department. The fields are like huge. The domains are very varying, and then same tools, same chatbot wala tool can be used for different fields. You just have to find your own like field in which your projects contributes more, because there is a lot of competition. There are a lot of existing tools, existing projects which each and every student is showing in their profile these days. You have to think uniquely uh, about where exactly you can build a tool which is actually creating some value, right? So now comes the more about neural networks part. So how the AI began, right? Like the whole process of uh, implementing things uh, was to recreate how the human brain works. All the inspiration was taken from human brain, and then just like the nerve system exists and there, the neural network came from it. And the architecture goes like this: that there would be an input layer where all sort of embeddings data which we created in the past, they would be getting fed into the input layers, which then the next stage comes is of the hidden layers, where and it's not just one layer of which exists in hidden category. There can be multiple layers, multiple parameters exist between them. There are some activation layers in place. There are some uh, lots of different uh, permutation and combinations exist here, so that you can actually do you can perform the task which you are trying to and extract out of the whole model, right? So the core purpose of this thing to understand the patterns which are hidden in the data, to extract the relationship out of it, and then to give the output in human consumable format. So the last layer comes is for the output part, right? Which is again all sort of which layers to join to whom, which nodes to join to which nodes. All sort of combinations exist between again hidden code, and then output we directly give the final uh, uh, whatever be it textual data, be it prediction data, those can be done using these. And as you can see, each and every line which is connecting uh, all these layers, there are uh, there are architectures which play around with them about how to connect, how to back propagate things, and then learn better about those. how to distribute the weights, so that it's basically, if you imagine a very simple linear regression where y is equals to mx plus c, or where m is the like slope, and if we make it into a high number of features where uh, y equals to a1x1 plus a2x2 plus a3x3 and so on, each and every constant which you are seeing in front of the feature variable is considered as a weight. And just like a single linear regression equation, imagine it expanding to all each and every node of it, right? So that even if a very complex relationship or patterns exist in a text, in an image, or in higher modalities, each of them gets break down into small linear equations, and then whatever info, whatever relationship is present in them, using neural networks, we can extract those uh, complex high dimensional data, and then extract things and present it in a very uh, human consumable format, right? So this is about how, what's the typical neural network design: input layers, hidden layers, output layers, and then doing all sort of processing between them. Now, now this was the the whole neural network was existing since a long time. The change in the industry happened when, in 2017, a paper comes in which goes by attention is all you need, right? That's, I feel, the journey of uh, Gen AI kind of started. Now, what was the problem, right? Like, why do you think all these chat GPT like tools started coming now, right? Wasn't computer there long before? Like, it was there in since 90s, and all sort of machine learning models, deep learning models, neural networks was existing before also. What suddenly happened which led to this Gen AI world? How suddenly things are changing in such a drastic pace, right? So the core problem which was existing before is the models existed before also, right? That there were textual models which were trained from neural network. They were able to predict the next sentence also, but the core and problem lies in long long context. When the amount of data, the amount of knowledge which we have, not everything can be fed into. That's why there was this, if people having NLP background, they knew things like lemmatizing, stemming, lot of cleaning used to happen. And because there was this constraint that we cannot send everything to the model, we have to clean it, we have to do all sort of things so that the data sent in is small enough so that model can understand it better, and whatever we are trying to do out of it. Chatbots were existing before also, but they need to understand things with a very small amount of data. After this self-attention mechanism, few things happened uh, about understanding the sequence of words. This was one. Another was, now we can understand all sort of long context things which are going in. And we'll try to go a little more into the self-attention architecture, because this is something which, people, when we also take interviews, we try to understand like all sort of things when it comes to architectural understanding. So I'm giving an example for let's say the cat is the cat sat on the mat. This is a sentence which goes like, there are n number of words. The cat sat on the mat. Now, the cat is the word which is given most emphasis here. That hey, this is the noun, and then the whole lines denote something about the cat. and what it is doing in the whole sentence. So there was some stress given on the cat. Then comes the other words. What did that cat do? So it sat basically. Then sat also considered that sat is having some sort of a relationship with cat. Next comes is the on the mat. Okay, where did cat sat? It sat on the mat. So mat also was given some sort of good weightage about it. So if you consider all sort of words here, the cat sat on the mat. On and the was kind of, I would say neglected or given less attention weights. And cat, sat, mat was the three core words which were given lot of attention, lot of weights. So just like you can see, there is this sequence of words which is happening. And to make a model learn about uh, what is the sequence, how much weights need to be given to each of them, and then how to understand the whole thing. So basically, self-attention is a technique in neural networks only that helps a model to focus on relevant parts of the input sequence. And at the same time, it's processing each and every word, right? So the problem which was happening before is as soon as you try to give lot of information, because right now I just gave a sentence, right? Imagine 1,000 sentences. Just send it to a whatever neural network model which does not have the self-attention or transformer mechanism. What it used to do is it used to consider the latest information only, just like a human brain, right? If i if i fed in, or if you read a very, if you try to read a whole book in a single day, you won't be able to remember each and everything. The same problem was happening with the initial transport, with the initial neural network model, that they were able to remember the latest things only, not each and every part, not the understanding or the relationship between the sequence and so on. That's what exactly this self attention solved, that it understand the relevant parts, it understand what's the sequence of these models, like words in the models, and then be it any application in task like transition and like transition, summarization, every meaning depends on other, right? When you have given a large context and then asked to summarize it, it try to capture these dependencies between words regardless of the distance, and then gives a crisp summary out of it. So I hope things are a little more clear, that the mechanism is looking at all the other words and also how much attention to pay to each and every word. So if I give a one-liner summary for this, it would be, which other words help me understand this word better, right? So as soon as the cat was focused, similarly, other words like sat and mat were also considered, that okay, which can help the word understand better. Similarly, for each and every word, this relationship between what is the weight uh, with every single word belonging to other words happens in parallel. And then because of the parallelization concept also, the things become much more faster, the things become much more better. Now going in a little bit in mathematical direction, that all these things are very top level, how exactly things happen when it comes to, if I try to create a equation out of it, there are three things which attention tries to extract, like the QKV pairs: query, key, and value. Query, what I'm looking for; key, what I offer; and then value, that what it contains. Using these QKV values, attention score gets calculated. And then the weighted sum of all values of the word, where weights come from the attention scores, gets calculated and then sent in as a final output for a word. So for example, if I tell you the panda is fill in the blanks, right? So the next word prediction could be, let's say, sleeping. The panda is sleeping. Similarly, there are a lot of other words which are existing here. The panda is dancing also. The panda is doing XYZ also. But for each and every word, there comes this probability distribution where, good chances that when we are talking about pandas, the sleeping word has given the highest probability. And then the sleeping word was chosen out so that the next word prediction goes for that word. So similarly, when this attention scores gets calculated, the soft max normalization concept comes in that, hey, weights are calculated using the uh, softmax normalization part so that each and every word is like numerically normalized. All these weighted sum of vectors happens based on these attention weight to finally consider the output of each and every word. That each and every word of like the cat sat on the mat. Each and every word have their own scores now, and then that's how the problem of relationship between words, the problem of parallelization, right, and the problem of long context. All of them were getting sold because of architectures like attention is all you need, right? Going into a more into let's say like out of curiosity, we try to train our own GenAI model, and then assuming we have a vast amount of public resource available data, which we can use without any legal constraint. Uh, yeah. So all those extensive data sets gets broken. The tokenization concepts comes in that, hey, each and every word is tokenized, and uh, then positional encoding happens like we were seeing before, right? Each and every word get assigned to a number. The normal embedding happens. Then embedding, and then this positional embedding gets combined to form a final vector embedding for each and every word. And then concept like multi-head attention comes in, where the relationship between all tokens are happening parallelly using these self-attention heads. Then normalization happens, and a typical after that the same feed forward neural networks comes in place, where we apply some linear layers and then activation layers to try to extract things out. And all these attention layers are kind of stacked in parallel so that things are way much faster. And the final layers which I was talking about, the output layer, it becomes a final linear layer or more of a softmax to predict the final probabilities of those tokens, right? And like I was telling, that there is this probability for each and every word. The panda could be sleeping, the panda could be dancing, and so on. That's a very small example, so pardon me for that. But what exactly this temperature and creativity thing is? So right now in the industry also, we take, to be honest, zero temperature, that hey, we want accuracy to be our top metric, be the creativity not that of priority. But given in the context that we are trying to use applications like creative writing, we are trying to replace some artist in the market, that's where the creative metrics becomes priority. And then the temperature becomes a little, the temperature was given a little more weight, that hey, don't just think whichever has the highest probability would be the very proper word. Go beyond the highest, find some low probability scores as well, which are adding creativity to the next predicted word in a sentence, right? And if output is coming like, hey, the panda is dancing, assume the model is like being just very creative. So yeah, Gen models predict tokens by evaluating a spectrum of probabilities with associated probabilities. Sampling, which is controlled by temperature, impacts the creativity and innovation paths. And just like I said, the temperature was like we literally place zero as a temperature because we want to make sure accuracy is our main concern and the most probable token gets predicted next. And then higher temperature allows the consideration of tokens with lower probabilities as well, which results in diverse and imaginative outcomes. The fine-tuning temperature transitions AI output from conventional to imaginative, just like we talked about. And oh, this is to be honest what I work upon in my job. There is a lot of limitations of Gen AI products. Uh, so just like imagine like we have trained everything, like we have given large context of data to the model. We have generated uh, good LLMs out of it. Then we did this fine tuning of models. Like I'll first go with the problems only. Why? How come this has hallucination happens? Because the given data also was not very clean, right? The data sets from Twitter, from Reddit, from Wikipedia, or whichever etc. Uh, open source, publicly available uh, data library. When the data gets fed in from such large sources, humans don't have humans can't clean each and everything before feeding into such models. Hence, some sort of training loopholes exist that, okay, there is this bias in the data, right? Uh, when I say bias, what exactly it can mean? The bias can mean it can mean to any field, right? Lot of religion-based bias, lot of gender-based bias, that at higher management there are less women or so on. There are times when the Twitter fight was going on that hey, XYZ LLM answered this, that when they asked some sort of job rate or hiring rate, more males were hired, and then it ended up favoring them because the existing data set on Twitter, on whatever platforms, they are also kind of biased in nature. And because the model was trained on such biased data, it will end up it will end up predicting the next word as something biased in nature, right? You are asking something, it's giving either the biased answer or some totally different hallucinated answer, which is like, which makes us feel like, has this, you know, LLM gone crazy or what? And there are tools and techniques to reduce the hallucinations, to ensure that uh, things are more, that AI is more trustworthy. The whole responsible AI development goes in this field only. There are companies who are spending a lot, literally, just to make sure that the front facing of their agentic based tools, the front facing of their LLMs are not harming the users. And I know most of you must be having some questions related to Gen AI projects, or how students can build their profiles. Do consider the responsible AI development as one of the field to think upon. There's a huge potential here. Everybody is exploring it because these days, that how can we make things better. I'll give some more specific examples also. But I hope this thing is clear that there are some limitations of Gen AI. Whatever LLM exists, there are some hallucinations. There are people who try to jailbreak it and end up extracting some harmful information from these tools, right? And also, just like the whole the whole training task was to enable the model to do the pattern recognition. It extracted the patterns, but it has not really checked the facts that, hey, is this really correct, right? So same goes for biases also, that the training data itself was biased, hence the AI was also biased. and so on, right? Now, that's where the big ethical concerns comes in, that hey, uh, this realistic text, the realistic images, a lot of deepfake issues are going in the market. The audio part, that hey, Arjit and Atif did not sing this song, but there is this song which is in the same voice as them. How come? A lot of legal constraint, lot of privacy violations, lot of ethical considerations are happening. And how in this world where we can't differentiate between what is fake and what's not, so a lot of trust and safety considerations comes in role, that how authentic is this data. Next part comes is the ownership part, uh, be it Instagram, be it YouTube, be it other platforms where a lot of these AI generated content is flowing in. How do we make sure that uh, the data is purely sole belong to the owner? It's not copy pasted or plagiarized or just reframed from the plagiarized content to make it their own. How to ensure the legal constraint of ownership and fair use, right? There is so much of gray area which exists in copywriting data. And so just like all these limitations exist, all these ethical considerations exist, there is a potential to harm the user also, right? Where do we draw the line that, hey, till this place AI was good, after this, let's stop the AI? There all these talks are going on in the market, and what is the right way to think about them? What is the and to be honest, everybody is exploring the giants like GPT, Google, uh, Facebook, etc., etc. All of them are giving a lot of stress on how do we make our tools more trustworthy in nature, right? So that it's doing more good than harm. And government also is giving a lot of emphasis on these tools, that hey, you should make sure that none of your tools is revealing such information which is illegal in nature, right? Which can lead to uh, harming the users. There is so many child safety policies which exist in market. And similarly, uh, at Google also, I'm in the trust and safety department of Google. There are some a number of policies belonging to sexually explicit content, belonging to plagiarized content, belonging to dangerous illegal content, hate speech content, harassment content. Each and everything is given so much stress that how do we make sure that the LLM outputs, the agents, various agents are getting built out of these tools, how they are not giving a answer or a response or generating an image or a video which can do more harm than good, right? So few things comes in when it comes to the solution building part. There is this popular technique of fine tuning, that hey, we get it that okay, the training data sets has some sort of bias, has some sort of lack of clean data. It's fine. What to do next? Come to the solution part, right? The solution part comes in that hey, there must be not enormous amount of clean data, but some amount of clean data must be existing, which is uh, maybe humanly labeled or uh, supervised data, or a better data uh, which can help the LLM to understand the difference between what's good and what's bad, right? Because it's just another brain, it's just another artificial brain we are talking about, which we have the power to train it, which we can, just like we teach a child, we teach the LLM also uh, to do a thin line between what's right and what's wrong. Similarly, fine tuning is a basic process where we train on specific task data sets, because these are generalized tools. Let's say ChatGPT, it can answer, or a Gemini, it can answer anything about every topic. When we are training it, or when we are creating agent-based tools or agentic tools out of it, we fine tune it on specific data sets. right? For example, a IIT-based Q&A platform exists where lots of questions belonging to that specific exams are asked. Now, if we start asking all those questions directly to the Chat GPT Gemini, it might have some factual inaccuracy. So what we do is we take a factual accurate database, we train the model on it, so that now model has a very better understanding about what sort of questions can be asked, what sort of answers exist. There exists a database so that it can factually accurate things and so on. So this is just one example which I gave to a education industry where questions about any particular topic, and if we have a good cleaned data or a large database for it, we can fine tune things. Next part was which another technique which was getting used to improve things was reinforcement learning, right? There are parts which reinforcement learning basically do a rewarding system. Whenever model outputs safe responses, it rewards it. Whenever model outputs unsafe responses, it doesn't. Hence, the model is learning that, okay, just like a child, that, okay, all of these actions are getting rewarded. I should do the good actions more. All of these actions are unsafe in nature. They are not rewarded. I should stop doing them. So a very basic reinforcement learnings also get applied over a pre-trained model, so that now the final end output model is way more trustworthy and way more safe. These were the techniques at an architectural level to ensure things are safe. Next part comes is the evaluation part, that there are good KPIs, there are good matrices in the market. Uh, Mathematical matrices goes like blue, rogue scores, and then some more cosine similarity score, which tells us that, okay, how similar it is to the safe answers and unsafe answers. So if we can have, because everything cannot be checked manually, right? We need some sort of evaluation matrices to compare things. And right now, just like, there are so many tools coming in. Gemini, Google has so many Gemini models. GPT has so many GPT models. Grok from Elon Musk is coming in. China, there is this developing DeepSeek. How do we know what to use, what is better in what context of problem, and so on? That's where these evaluation metrics comes in. That, hey, for each and every work, for each and every tool, for each and every field, there are some evaluation matrices. Some exist to judge the how accurate the code is, because a lot of time we extract code from these tools. Some exist to judge how safe the content is. Some exist to crack the DSA problems, right? There is this whole data structure and algorithm market, which AI tool can top the DSA level, right? And literally, each and every company is trying to make sure that our tools are so great, so much fine tuned, such that for each and every matrices, they end up rising in the table, and then that's where the revenue, that's where the PR comes in. So we talked about limitations. We talked about various architectural based solutions, fine tuning, reinforcement learning, getting a better data out of it, and then for a specific task, uh, retraining the model to relevant to that specific task. Then comes the part that, hey, now it's the exam time. We need something to evaluate. We create different mathematical as well as LLM as a judge matrices, where LLMs are judging LLMs, right? The output of LLM is getting fed in to another LLM, and then that LLM has given a score matrix that, okay, give a score from 0 to 5 if this exists. So accordingly, LLM tries to be a judge for another LLM response. There is so much of play around happening, using AI to make better AI. That's what's happening these days. The last part was comes in relevant to, hey, we need some bottom lines. We need some government regulations to stop things from going wide. What if suddenly AI starts stealing the data? What if it's deployed into some, insane blockchain where things are not centralized in nature, and then AI suddenly becomes a devil AI, right? So we do need some official government regulations when they say, hey, it's a no, you need to stop things. That's the max you can go. That's where all these legal constraints comes in. That's where we also the various policies which I talked about, right? Those also comes in role, that how do we make sure our tools are aligning with those policies and we are not having any sort of legal constraints from the government, from the market, and at the end we are not genuinely harming the user. So that's about things. uh, Quick check with the Cuvette team, like
Okay.
can we
So,
allow?
yeah, Divyansh, can we start taking questions? Are you done?
Sure thing, sure thing.
Okay. So, to all those present in the meeting, you can click on the 9 dots on the bottom right corner, meeting tools, and there you'll find Q&A. So you can start posting your questions, and we'll start taking them one by one. Okay, so we have one question, Divyansh, from Tushar. So he says, what is the easy way to start in this fast changing field of Gen AI for a beginner?
Awesome, awesome. This is the the most asked
And there
question.
is a follow-up question, Divyansh. What math is required by Tushar?
Got it, got it. So consider it as, I'll give an analogy here. Like, imagine whatever food you are eating, even if either you know that what vitamins, what nutrients exist in that food, what level of carbohydrates, etc., exist in that food, having that knowledge is one thing, and then absorbing that food and how much of that food is affecting your health is another thing. Even if you know the vitamins absorption or etc. about the food is gonna do same, improvements to your body. But if you have that understanding that okay, whatever I'm eating, it's adding to uh, XYZ vitamin, XYZ part, then you can have a better understanding. You can have your whole decision making process easy. Similarly goes for any AI field. If you have maths, if you have a statistics background, things become a little easier to understand how machine learning, how deep learning, and how Gen AI is getting formed. And there are a lot of questions when it comes to architecture and understanding, which gets asked in the interviews. Uh, so you can answer them better. That's about the math part. More part about how to enter into this field. Just just hit and try things, right? Today we talked a lot about Hugging Face models. We saw that there are open sources models which are free of cost. There are open sources data which is free of cost. There are platforms to not just build the tools but also to host and deploy them. So all you need to do is just get your hands dirty. The information accessibility part is resolved now. You need not to go learn from various blogs. Ask the platforms like Gemini and GPT. They'll give you good response related to code generation, related to specific topics in GenAI, and then start building projects. The more projects you have in your profile, the better is the chance that you'll end up in a role.
Okay. So hope that answers your question, Tushar. Divyansh, we have the next question from Gagandeep. So Gagandeep is asking, what is the difference between Gen AI and prompt engineering?
So GenAI is a larger umbrella. Prompt engineering is just one of the field using which we extract uh, outputs from the LLM. The better our prompt engineering techniques are, the better would be the output of from these GenAI tools. Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Mhm.
So Nithya Nanthan has a question. How can I learn Gen AI? How can Gen AI learn and get any roadmap, like, because lot things available on internet, but Okay, so Nityanandan, can you please reframe your question? I'm so sorry, I'm not able to understand it. Uh, till that time, Divyansh, the next question is, what is Hugging Face Transformers?
Hugging Face transformers, just like we talked about, the whole architecture of tokenization, encoding, multi-head attention, normalization, stacking various layers. All these transformers are pre-trained, uploaded, and deployed to these platforms where you can directly access them. So Hugging Face is a platform where you can access all these transformer-based models as well.
Got it. So the next question is from Ranjan. He is asking, sir, is LLM the processor for any AI chatbot which gives the response to the user?
Processor, I'm hoping you mean uh, whatever questions you have asked, where exactly it's getting processed. So yeah, there is this, the model must have been uh, deployed to some environment, and whatever questions you are asking, it's getting fed into the LLM. But it's not just LLM which is processing it. There are lots of architectural layers which exist, which cleans that output, which makes sure that it's safe, which makes sure it's factually accurate, and then the net output which you are receiving is not just LLM generated, but also by ensuring that it clears the various filtering criteria of that too.
All right. So Nitish wants to ask, what are all the tech stacks we should excel to become a better AI developer?
So see, there are problem solving is the core behind any AI job. And different companies try to assess problem solving by different methods. There are companies who take this coding round, the proper DSA round. For that, you can use lead code sort of platforms to become better at these. There are companies who tries to just using SQL rounds. SQL also you can keep practicing, get better at. There are companies uh, who judge your like whatever requirement they have. Sometimes they are building machine learning models or doing some basic prediction classification problem. They'll try to judge your ML understanding using algorithmic questions that, hey, how this XYZ algorithm, how can, and how linear regressions, how was the concept behind it, what's typical statistics involved in it, those get asked. So and so on, right? Deep learning comes in, the Gen AI comes in, where relevant projects are noticed, that what sort of projects do you have in your profile when it comes to your Gen AI profile? Do you have some RAG-based models? Do you have some chatbot projects? And it's not just about having projects in your profile. It's also about what was the mindset behind building them, what sort of architecture you have created, what is the best code cleaning practices you have used, and etc. So what I can say is try to build a, if you know that, okay, this is my specialization, this is my genre, that hey, I am a image specialist, I want to grow in image field only, then okay, keep learning about that deep learning, transformers, or uh, LLMs in image field itself. But in this job crunch market where people are just trying to get a job, and after coming in job they are thinking about learning more, you can try building a overall sort of a profile where you have good stats, mathematical understanding, you have projects relevant to MLDL, Gen AI in your profile, and then, like I said, not just having projects, having a good understanding about them, having a good reasoning behind what you did, why you did. And then I feel if you have all these things, the job cracking part should be a easier thing.
Okay. So Divyansh, since we talked about projects, we have a question from Ishani. Can you suggest any beginner-friendly projects to know how things work?
Sure. So if you want to start from very, like nothing, just a simple API call, a basic prompt, and some output. This is a typical GenAI project which you can think on. A typical summarization projects could be your could be a key. All sort of creative writing projects happens, right? uh, Poem generation, story generation, rap generation, co-creative, explore this writing genre, and then do a very basic prompt, do a API call, extract some output, and there you go, you have a summarization tool in your hand. This is a very basic tool. We can go more about good GenAI projects also.
Okay. So the next question is from Bhanu. Can you tell us about how to use Hugging Face models through API?
Right. So there are two things. If you are going with the large model APIs, probably they are paid, so you might not be able to use them. But there are API, there are endpoints which are free of cost. And then, just like I was showing uh, the models button in the Hugging Face UI, click on that model, explore the free models like uh, Roberta, T5 from Google, GPT-2, I guess, from Chat GPT team, and there is this BERT model also free, I'm guessing. So all these free models, you can directly copy paste that endpoint URL and then just keep changing that URL in your code, and you will be directly able to access various free models in a typical Jupyter notebook in your local environment.
Okay. So hope that answers your question, Bhanu. So the next question is, can you brief us on applications of GenAI on giving training data, on given training data?
It's huge, right? Be it any field, strategy, operations, supply chain, retail. Uh, First of all, each and every field, each and every platform, e-commerce platform, Amazon e-commerce, Amazon, Flipkart, blah blah blah, are having their own website-based chatbots. So chatbot, I would say, is the largest market which is applicable in whatever field you name it. Next thing comes in the RAG-based things. What is RAG like? Uh, because we are entering into a world where information is huge and we have less time to absorb it. Just like a 1,000-page PDF, just like a long website, you'll just feed in that website to a tool and then just ask questions that, hey, give me the address of Amitabh Bachchan. If that PDF has that response, it has that single line in a 1,000-page PDF, it will extract it and tell you. So there is a huge RAG-based projects which are coming in. There are companies who have bunch of large documents and they don't have time. They don't have uh, humans or bandwidth to make people go them manually and ask things. So that's where the RAG-based things comes in. And a lot of last point is a lot of agentic things are going on these days, where you can build any sort of agentic AI-based tools based on these LLM APIs.
Okay, so there's a follow-up on this, Divyansh. So can you please specify on Hugging Face models in real-time hands-on examples?
Like I said, you need to explore. So you can note down there is this BERT by Google, there is this T5 by Google, there is this FLAN T5 also, which was fine-tuned by Google. That's enough about the Google marketing. I'll switch on to other companies as well. There is this GPT-2 and then GPT Neo, GPT-J. So they don't reveal the GPT-3 and GPT-4 openly without any money, but these are free models like 2, 4, and so. Facebook also have Roberta A, which you can, you know, download in your local and also do a API based. And if you want to go, if you have some money, if you have some money to spend, you can go wild, right? Like there is pay-per use policy that you only have to pay about how much you are using. It will not unnecessarily ask you for money. So there are token-based pricing, there are time-based pricing that in a certain time you can do whatever you want. You can explore these free and paid API as well as models both.
Okay. So hope that answers your question, Thapetla. So the next question is from Manikanta Vineet Divyansh, and the question is, can you please tell me the difference between transformers and LLMs?
Transformers was the architecture used to train LLMs. That's all.
Okay, got it. So the next question is from Saksham. Hi Divyansh, I have been using Hugging Face and many LLM models and training them accordingly to my use for my personal projects. And I'm learning how to code transformers with each of its components. So can you tell me whether it's the right approach for becoming an AI and ML engineer?
Yes, it's good that you are doing, a lot of hands-on in it, but don't just do redundant tasks. Don't just like focus on the problem solving part, right? Because in interviews, what you will be getting asked is why, how, and like, what's the mindset behind doing them. So if you are thinking that, okay, I'm doing the same task again and again, I'm again like just uh, don't just play like spend most of your time in playing around with various models or tools. Think more about, even if you're using a very small model or very pre-model, think about how you can generate value out of it. Like building a agentic based tool is one thing, and then creating a good scalable projects which is adding some value, and using that project you can show your various skills, that hey, I have not just coding skills, I not just have deployment skills, I also know about how I can fine tune it, how I can introduce the various filters layers which I was talking about to make things safe, which makes things more responsible. So think from an overall top level perspective, that how your profile is getting viewed, and then how you can show more of your skills to it.
All right. So the next question is from Mani. Can you explain the vector space involved in transformers and how the connection is established between plotted trained data?
So there are three things. Text based data gets broken down to single words, which is tokens. Those tokens have a embedding, and then if it's a sequence, then comes the part of positional embedding. By combining the normal embedding, positional embedding, the net embedding comes in, which is nothing but a vector. Let's say if it's a 3 length vector, it's like 1.0, 2.0, and then 1.3, something, or whatever, basic n sized vector. But we are talking about large context like LLM sort of things. There is this large length vectors which comes in place. All of these vectors are created in such a way. For example, if the only A to Z are the only letters which existed, and there is no words and sentences, then 0, 1 to 24 would be the size of that vector, and only they could be a linearized to 1, 2, 3, 4, 24 vector. And now, if you want to denote A in that vector space, the letter at first position would be 1, rest of them would be 0. This becomes a representation for that letter A. Same goes for letter Z, Z. All the initial words, all the initial letters would be 0, the last one would be 1. Hence, using this vector space, you can denote that letter. Same thing goes for large sentences, phrases. The vector size gets increased, the vector space gets formed where semantically similar words are closer to each other. And the max you can imagine is 3D space, where there are vector spaces which are coming in. The two words which are close enough, their vectors are aligned to similar position. Uh, that's all I can tell about vector space. Also, there is this platform where you can actually do some visualization, or see some good graphs also for various vectors. Just try to Google it, and there is this vectorization based plots you can find there.
Okay. So the next question is, what are some of the best practices for uploading a custom model to Hugging Face?
Hmm, make sure you write a very clean code. You follow all the coding practices which are involved, because it's not just about a project, it's also about the structure of the whole project. All sort of classes, all sort of code is written in such a way that you know the various coding principles are uh, getting applied. You can have your own profile, and then you can post that model. There is a space thing in Hugging Face. You can explore that as well. You can have a look around at how others are maintaining, what's going on these days when it comes to how people are presenting things on their resume, so that the whole Hugging Face profiles is like gets shown, and then you can show all the hosted models or projects there. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a very generic question, Divyansh, that many students might have in their minds. So is AI going to replace other tech jobs such as full stack development and data science? So we'd love to know your views on this.
Sure thing. So just like industrial revolution came in, electricity electricity becomes the new thing at that time. It did it replace the job of candle making people, the people who were making lanterns. Those kind of tools were no more getting used because electricity was in the market. I feel something similar is happening now when it comes to AI. The task which where a lot of human bandwidth was allotted, uh, which it's kind of redundant in nature and can be done easily by AI, are going to get replaced. But when it comes to core problem solving, right, the AI still has not reached that level where it can do everything on its own. There is a human in the loop required. So try to become master of those things, right? You be that human who is needed to train the AI better, to create AI based tools, right? So there is this river flowing in this with the huge pace, which is of AI. Try to make sure your boat is sailing in this river, because it's going to go very far. And then, as long as you are not doing redundant tasks, not doing small things which can get replaced easily by the AI, you need not to worry at all. As you have the good understanding of basic concepts, as you have a good understanding of architectures, you know how to train the AI better to create better tools. You should be in a good place. So
Okay, so that was a great way of putting it, Divyansh. Thank you so much. So the next question is from Aryan Tyagi, and he wants to ask what kind of data sets are used to train LLMs.
what kind of data sets are used to train LLMs? This is something which is specific to companies, man. Like different companies have their own approaches, have their own internal data sets as well as publicly available data sets. Some companies, like I said, uh, respective of company, data sets from Twitter, Wikipedia, Reddit, and these are just official large scale platforms. There are internal lots of uh, private data sets which are used depending on the various companies which are used. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is from Sirisha. Sirisha is asking, there are many fields in AI in the industry, and among those, which field best suits the freshers to enter into IT at current day?
It's also about where your interest lies, right? Whether you have a good understanding of machine learning models. So the thing is, how I perceive things from last 6 years when I'm in the industry is like there is always scope for the cream. What I mean by that is there is cream in the industry for each and every field. If you become a part of that cream, you need not to worry about jobs, you don't need to worry about salary. Just be the master of what you are doing. If you are doing machine learning models, if you have a good, very like deep understanding of various algorithms which are there, you know how to take decisions when to use which models. even a machine learning engineer has this, earning good money, good salary. Same goes for deep learning side of things. Same goes for Gen AI side of things. For sure, these days Gen AI market is booming, and then companies are putting in blind money to ensure that they are the first in the race. Uh, but at the same time, think from a sustainable perspective that hey, you are liking this field, you know the statistics, you know the basics, you have a good understanding of various AI algorithms, and you are literally enjoying building these projects, then you need not to worry. You will automatically reach that cream level, and all sort of jobs and money based things will be resolved there. So do a more of soul searching and then keep on learning.
Okay. So hope that answers your question, Sirisha. The next question is from Roham. How to get data sets or related data while working on Gen AI projects?
Right. So we talked about three tools. Kaggle is one of them where lots of data set is available. Try look for respective modalities of data set like text, image, video, and speech. And these are not just the modalities. New modalities are coming in like tabular data sets. Or if you open that Hugging Face website, there also it's like a huge data sets are available belonging to various time series, text-based modalities, tabular-based. And not just these, there are maps coming into place. There are 3D models coming into place. Geospatial data is coming into things. So yeah, couple of these tools should be able to do justice to your profile.
Okay. So Nityananthan has a question for you, Divyansh. I want to build a career in generative AI, but there's a lot of information online, and I'm not sure where to start. So can you provide a clear roadmap for learning generative AI and suggest the best platforms or resources to get started?
Sure thing. So there are two type of platforms, not just for uh, Gen AI, but also all sort of AI building tools like MLDL and so on. I feel Udemy is one of the platform which delivers information very crisp and very fast, right? That hey, I have 3 months to spend, and I want to become a master from zero. I would suggest Udemy could be one of the platform. It does not go very detail about each and everything like Coursera and other platforms, but it gives you an overview about the particular field. Using that overview, you will know a few things that okay, whether my interest is lying in this field, what sort of end-to-end uh, options I have, what sort of projects I can build. So these are these. This is about the platforms. How to approach from your end is start from basics. Just like uh, today we talked a very top overview about transformers, Hugging Face, self-attention mechanisms, Gen AI. Similarly, keep on getting more information about theoretical understanding of things. Next steps comes in the apply part. Develop, use code, use existing models, create some basic projects like summary projects or creative writing projects. Then level up your projects that okay, I want to go in chatbot building, I want to go in RAG based tools, I want to go in agentic AI domain. That becomes like, you can claim that okay, these are the top projects I have. Then uh, you're all set for a GenAI profile job.
Okay, so we have a lot of questions and we are running short on time. So we'll take five last questions, Divyansh. So one question is from Sanjay. How long has Gen AI been actively being used in Indian IT companies? And since when are you actively working on Gen AI models?
Sure. So I remember like I was a civil engineer, and then in 2019 when I graduated, having zero knowledge about what's going on in the AI field. However, I started my career as a software developer for 2 years, and then from that time I knew that okay, I'm able to do the software development part. I have a full stack experience. Now I want to switch and level up myself. So from around 2021, I started doing data science courses and then ML courses. Uh, After that, I had internally switched to a Python developer profile where I was doing data science projects for the same company. But then I wanted to switch to a full-time, full stack data scientist profile, which I did to Tiger Analytics. There are experienced literally 6 large companies, 6 large clients in a very small time frame of 3 years. And then for all 6 of them, I have built all sort of ML, Gen AI projects. And that's where I knew that, okay, I do want to try a full-time Gen AI space, and I can, lead teams here. And then, yeah, I was at right time, I had right skills, and I was at right place where I landed the GenAI strategist role at Google. And yes, industries are using a lot of GenAI based tools. Each and every company trying to make sure that their human labor is less, and they are making the machines do the tough part of things, and humans as a enablers or as a you know uh, uh, resources to make better AI tools. So that's about the platform. That's about this. That's about the industry experience.
Got it. So the next question is, can Hugging Face be integrated with other platforms like AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure for model development deployment?
So there are libraries, I feel, which can directly be called in the coding environment of these cloud-based tools, and you can directly do a API call from these models there. So yes,
Okay. So the next question is, how to approach fine-tuning a pre-trained LLM on a specific task, and what are the key considerations?
good question. Because that's what most of the companies are trying to break this, and then different solutions exist. Number one, you should have a good clean data set relevant to the problem you are solving, right? If you have a chatbot in the food industry, you should have a good clean data set about the communication, the questions which users ask, and the good responses which either LLMs or humans have given in the past, so that the database is so good that it clears all sort of queries or future queries of humans. Use fed in this data set to uh, fine tune LLM, and then they perform much better. Second part is, like I was telling, the understanding of various layers in the architecture. LLM response comes out, you need to introduce various layers, ensures respective task. That, okay, I have a classification layer which classifies safe, unsafe answers. I have other layers belonging to what sort of answers you want your LLM to give. So having good data set, having the understanding of layers and how to build them, be it classification, be it cleaning layers, be it more precise layers belonging to your task. Those layers can be introduced in the architecture so that your net output is much more fine-tuned and have a very good accuracy.
Okay, so hope that answers your question, Chintamani. We'll take two more questions. So the second last one is from Shantanu. Could you please explain why empowers, the word empowers is tokenized as M and powers? Shouldn't it be considered a single word?
Good question. Good question. Just like there are a lot of vocabulary-based nuances in English, right? Sometimes skill-driven is one word where skill and driven is like a common word, but there is this hyphen in between. And then there are so many, like bank, for example, there is this river bank and finance bank. Both of them have a different bank understanding, right? River bank is like the bank near the river. Finance bank is a proper finance wala bank. So LLMs need to break down things so that later on they can do that word to word matching thing, right? Like cat, mat, sat, so that they have a better understanding that, hey, this bank is getting talked. Is it relevant to river or is it relevant to finance? Similarly, they try to break things and have a better understanding about that.
Okay. So the last question that we'll take is from Sashank, and the question is, what are the probable interview questions that can be asked from the topic we discussed?
Good question. So there is this diagram of transformer architecture. Do give it a look about how the input is going in, how multi-head attention is working, how stacked layer, how self-attention stacked layers are getting parallelized. because each and every concept we talked, that hey, it's solving large context problems which were there before neural networks. It is solving parallelization problem. It is solving the problem of word to word relationship and word to word matching. If I am taking an interview, or if industry folks are taking an interview for a research scientist, we do ask questions relevant to how to how to break things down, literally break a top level concept into a mathematical equation that becomes so easy, or so understandable. If you are approaching such positions where you are core research scientist, then you should have that level of deep understanding. But given you are approaching a basic analyst or a basic data scientist position, uh, you can have a top level understanding, but more better understanding about how to apply them, how to implement them, what sort of code can be written, what sort of endpoint APIs can be used, what validation you are doing, right? And the various filters I mentioned about architecture, that how many various layers introduced to have a fine-tuned, better model. So according to what you are targeting, approach your preparation, approach your theoretical understanding that way.
All right. So to all those who are asking for certificates and recording of the workshop, so you'll definitely get the recording of this whole workshop and the certificates on Monday, end of day. So I'm again repeating that you'll get the certificates and the workshop recording by Monday, end of day. Okay. So that's it from my side, Divyansh. Thank you so much. We actually have a lot of questions, so we are running a little short in time. We won't be able to take all the questions, but we'll be sharing a feedback form with all the people who have joined the meeting. So you can definitely post your questions in that feedback form, and we'll try to get them answered by Divyansh. Okay. So thank you so much, Divyansh. It was a really insightful session. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Arnav. Thank you so much for Cuvette team for inviting me. I thoroughly enjoyed all week doing a lecture with you guys. Feel free to drop me a connect on LinkedIn and TalkMate if we get a chance to connect later on as well. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So you all can start leaving the meeting. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Divyansh.